Hey, so welcome back to another episode of the Blue Ridge Bonfire Podcast. We are back on schedule. We are living the dream. Matt is heading off to Vegas for a week of gambling and
Debauchery,
debauchery next week.
or lots and lots of walking and no
or
gambling or debauchery. So
yeah, or you're essentially just going to be doing like a multi-day hiking trip inside of a convention center.
yeah. I've been training all year for this.
Yeah, this is why Matt rocks. You think it's for the wilderness, but actually it's when he has to
It's for going to SHOT Show.
haul around all of his crap at SHOT Show for
Yeah.
hours a day on the floor.
Yeah. Well, I don't even haul much crap anymore, but
Yeah,
I will say there's a lot of walking.
yeah, I think those like convention centers stuff like that. I would almost rather be doing that walking in the woods. Like I've done like Blade Show a couple years, like worked a booth and been there, and you're on concrete.
Yeah,
But,
I
man,
know
will
it's
beat you up in a different way.
Yeah,
it's painful.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's it's low fun.
yeah,
That part of it. I mean, honestly, barring any injuries causing me problems, my favorite part is when people start to bitch about how painful it is.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just enjoy the other people whining.
Yeah, you're coming into this though with a mostly healed ankle, so
Mostly healed ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Did we talk
Assuming
about that?
all my like my
Yeah.
fingers, like it moves now, and
Yeah.
my
So-
No splint anymore.
yeah.
no.
So wait, it was OAR then wedding. So wait, were you hurt at OAR? I mean,
no, it was before that.
Yeah,
Yes. So yes.
Yes, you were. Yeah, because it was for the
Yeah.
5K. Yeah. So I don't remember we talked about that, but Matt like stepped in a hole and practically snapped his foot off at the ankle.
Yeah.
In
Did
September.
some damage in
Yeah, September, October. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It was after East, so
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
after East, before or.
Yeah. Well, anything in particular? I mean, obviously there's a ton of cool crap there, but you go looking at like some stuff that maybe doesn't get the limelight, at SHOT Show.
Yeah, so we usually go for the what they call this. I mean, we go and walk everything, but the supplier showcase is typically where we spend about a day up there. And then we're looking at, there's a lot of fabric people and stuff like that come in, and some other stuff. And obviously, I'm doing most of that. Most of that is all rayon based, so it's all dog equipment.
But I mean, it trickles into Brog because like this is the first place you saw the Fidlock.
Yeah.
Last year, I remember you sent me the video of like
right.
It was like a white bag with black webbing or something, but like clicking the pouches on and off.
On
the
and
front
off.
using that,
Yep. Yeah, that was the first one I saw that I was like, we can modify how they're using this and do something interesting with
and
it.
Look at us, here we are. We're about
Here
to
we
roll
are,
out a bunch of products.
and I've got another couple that I think are kind of interesting add-ons that aren't Fidlock related, but I think are going to be interesting. So I'm kind of excited about that, even because there's some neat stuff there that
and then
is going to be fun coming into probably late spring.
I know we teased in the last episode talking about like the Ready Pack stuff, which is like rolling out here pretty soon, the Ready Pack system family of products. But one of the things I think I'm most excited about is like some of those pouches are going to eventually roll into our lineup. Like one of those that we've talked about. I don't know if you want to like.
The 3/4 we're going to build into a first aid kittable, and potentially be able to put that on a headrest.
And I think it's going to address one of the issues. It's rare, right? I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of those headrests out there. Every once in a while, somebody's like, "Oh, it doesn't stay on the Velcro," which I don't understand because mine is jam packed.
And that may have to do with like how molded the back of your headrest is.
Yeah. Because like mine will actually roll the whole cover. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah.
It'll roll the whole cover down before the pouch starts coming off.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I think the flatter the headrest is, the less issue you would have with it. If you had something that had a big arch in the back of it, was heavily molded in the back of it, maybe then is where you'd have some trouble.
But this new version, would
eliminate that.
That totally, yeah.
Yeah, eliminates that. And then, like I said, I think I've got a sort of a simple new pouch attachment system that will integrate into most everything else we've done that I'm kind of excited about. I just started working on some drawings of it last night. I'm hoping to build at least scab together a prototype today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I want to take it to SHOT with me. And
then this episode won't be out, and Logan can edit this out if it's not true, but as Matt Matt Part 2 and Jimmy going to get their backpacks delivered to them at Shot?
It appears like we'll be done with Ranger. I mean, we'll be 99% done with Ranger this week.
Oh, yeah.
With the Runner Ranger ones this week. We'll do the final assembly on a couple of them so that I can.
Yeah.
So that we can
get pictures of them with the slots and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do some do some things like that.
When you're in the smoke-filled, stained carpet wilderness of Vegas, the Ready Pack has your back.
Right, but that's really good. Text me that, so I'm gonna post that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
why is my backpack sticky?
So when I get back, we should have the rest of them done. So we should have. I mean, we're not doing 1 million of them, but we should have 15 or 16 of those available, and then we should have. We're going to do a short run of Coyote like that, 15 or 16 right after that. So I would say by early February, we should be in Coyote, running Ranger Green or have Green or Green Run, Coyote Run, and pouches to support.
Yeah, we've been trapping like crazy. It takes more Coyotes than you would think to make one of these backpacks.
It does. It does. It's a lot of.
I initially thought you would just skin it and sew up one end and just put your stuff in the other end, right?
Right.
But
no, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. A lot of sewing.
Yeah.
A lot of I got to sew more than one Coyote together.
That's some like Georgia bushcraft stuff there. There are some like raccoon backpacks floating around down there. Like,
that are
literally
raccoons.
Tanned, tied some strings to the feet, put those strings over your shoulders, and I'm assuming they sewed up at least one of the holes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh wow. That's committed. That's a serious. Plus, you'd want a pretty big raccoon because.
Yeah. I've got one right now that would at least be a decent overnight bag. That is I think he's been watching from the woods and he's learned that when the porch light comes on, it's a bad place to be because I can't get him to like hang around. Like as soon as the light comes on, he is out of there. So
yeah, you need a red light and
that's
red
true.
Flood and
so.
Just a handheld red flood.
Yeah, I was thinking I was just going to wait him out, right? Usually we see them and we're like, oh, there's one out there. But
old school coon hunter, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, old school. I knew some old dudes that did that, and they went full on like mining helmet with light. Yeah.
No, that's the way we hunted. Yeah. Was a what looked like a mining helmet and a giant ass battery pack and a wire down your back. And
I wonder about, well, it would be behind the pistol, so it wouldn't work. But I have like my caving headlamp. That would stop them in the tracks. The problem is I probably won't be able to see them.
Well, when you were trying to.
Yeah. So,
you'd want to do that in an iron sights gun, probably.
Yeah. So
you might burn them if you. Do the glass.
Yeah, that death ray, unforeseen. Yeah. Poof. Why does it smell like burnt hair out here?
Right. You write your name in your raccoon.
Yeah, I gotta try that tonight. Charge up the caving headlamp and
shoot it through your scope.
Yeah.
Just saying, might be entertainment.
I mean, in a Wile E. Coyote way, that is how optics work.
Right.
So
I mean, you may have to put it on backwards.
Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I'm not positive, but
to focus it in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But no,
tools.
Shot is always kind of cool, wild. It's funny. I have like the same group of people every year. Like, you want to be there? I was like, nope, that's Matt's baby. Hanging back in Virginia, we're holding down the fort. Like, yeah, I wouldn't mind to see it, but I don't think I'd want to be like one of those where like I have to be there. Which actually is just how I feel about Vegas in general. Like the nice thing about Vegas, there's really good hiking and mountain biking, like 20 minutes out of town.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but I mean, we don't.
Oh no, you guys are there.
Yeah, we're pretty committed to. I mean, it's just you're tired by the time you're done, and by the time you get something to eat and get ready to do it again, there's we don't do much.
Yeah.
As far as that stuff goes,
at least it is a place where there's a lot of good food.
There's a lot of good food. Like, the problem is I don't explore much anymore because I have like the 3 places I want to eat, and
I'm sure for you there's a good chunk of is like what's in route, of like
what's right around there, and what can you get into, like what has openings, and I've kind of got that pretty well mapped out now as to what I like.
You're not there on a Sunday. When we were there, we did a Sunday brunch that is at an Italian restaurant, which doesn't make sense, but like their thing is on Sunday, brunch. They have like Ferraris and stuff like in the restaurant. There's like doors and stuff hanging on the wall, but it was really good. And the other thing that was funny is like there's no one out and about on Sunday morning. in Vegas. Yeah.
I don't know that I'm sure I've been in Vegas on a Sunday, but
we had a weird day that we had a flight out of Vegas after hiking in maybe Zion, somewhere like that. And so we got into Vegas really early and just had time to kill. And we found this place that was like a Latin American comfort food place.
Yeah.
And it was so good. Think like empanadas and coffee and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we probably just sat there for like 4 hours.
Just hanging out,
Kept ordering more.
what's an empanada?
It was called Makers and Finders. It was really good.
It can be a bunch of stuff. It's essentially deep fried
It's
South American, like a quarter of a crunch wrap.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. But I mean, there's like all different
Taco
types.
Bell for me.
There's like sweet. There's like sweet ones. There's savory ones.
Like an apple empanada. It's like a hand pie.
Yeah.
It's like
and when
hand pie. Kind of thing.
Fried pie.
Yeah.
And say fried pie. I get that.
And I have seen them when I say like deep fried. They are usually like
super crispy,
lowered into the core of the earth. Right?
Like the old McDonald's pies.
There you go. Right.
Oh,
right. You like. If you get an empanada from
actually,
if you get an empanada from like a good truck,
not baked, not the bullshit baked ones they have now,
or a cart, much like those pies, they don't hand it to you and you take a bite. That's how you get hurt. Like you know,
Okay, maybe I like empanadas then.
Yeah, no, you would. Yeah. And
it's hard to. I mean, like Rick said, not liking empanadas is kind of like not liking sandwiches because you can get like whatever you want in them. So it's like you can't really. Just find the one that sounds good. You'll be into it.
And it's going to be really hot and really crispy. Yeah.
Okay.
I have to throw out that if anybody's ever in Vegas and you want to get out of town and maybe don't want to do a hike, some of the best mountain biking I've ever done was outside of Blue Diamond, Nevada. And like literally there's a bike rental shop and the trail starts in the back parking lot. And it's like, I don't know, 40 miles of trails back there. Everything from like OMG to it's just a rolling, it's like a roller through the desert. The only part that was like kind of challenging for me was that you're in scrubland, like everything's knee high, and then like turns in the trail. I think I maybe made a quarter of my turns. Like I need to go right up here, and you just blow by it because all the little bushes are this far apart.
Right.
It just so happens there's two of them that you're looking out for.
Yeah.
Where that's where the trail's at. Yeah.
I've done very little entertainment. I've been to like rifle matches in Vegas and have camped outside of Vegas a few times. And other than that, it's
I really like hiking around. It's Red Rock, right?
Red Rock is right there.
Red Rock Canyon is just west. So if you're actually on that road, there's like a state natural area or something that's not a park, but one of those.
Valley of Fire, is that the one?
No,
Valley of Fire is really cool.
I know that's really interesting.
This one's like something Springs, but it's like right before Red Rock Canyon. And I actually was going to go to
Radiator Springs, is it? Because I'd really like to go there.
No, Radiator Springs. Because I was going to go to Red Rock, but like the line was literally out onto the highway. It was like, no. And so I actually was like, well, let's go check this little place. It was, 2 turns before and literally, pulled in, went back, and it was really cool. I mean, same thing, kind of hiking up into a Red Rock Canyon with the spring coming out of it, just not nearly as crowded. So,
yeah.
I've heard Liz has talked about the Valley of Fire. I don't know why she would have been there and I wouldn't have, but I don't remember it.
It's pretty cool. It's just like, it feels like if it wasn't so close to Red Rock and all that it would probably be more known. There's just like there's so much of that stuff slightly closer to Vegas that it gets recognized more.
Yeah, no. So anyway, SHOT Show, Vegas extravaganza for a week.
Matt should have some cool stuff for us.
Not a week
to talk about on the next one that he saw.
Hopefully, we find something interesting that provides value to the world.
Yeah,
or we can use to provide value to the world. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm
breaking in my new boots right now, so I'm ready to go stomping through Vegas with 10 pounds of rubber strapped to my feet.
Yeah. No, I mean, but
listen to everybody complain.
Bold strategy that I'm a fan of. I've done that before. Like,
everybody else is on like on clouds and shit like that, and I'm like, that hurts worse than anything. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, the concrete. I mean, honestly, those Christie's holes, that's what it was designed for.
Yeah, they do good for they do good for that. I'm surprised more people don't.
Yeah.
More people have not figured this out.
Now, those will get you in trouble on, like, wet leaves, though. Like, a little bit of slope and some wet leaves, because they're really soft and the lugs aren't that deep. I had a pair of, maybe they were Danners, that had those same, like, white Christie sole. And they're, you'd be all right as long as you're on the trail. But, oh, man, you get off the trail and...
Yeah, they're not great in the... They're actually not bad in the wet. they're not great like in the mud and stuff like that. Like if you're on slick rock or kind of moss covered rock or leaf covered rock, that kind of stuff, they're probably pretty treacherous. But,
the lugs are pretty shallow and they collapse really easily by design.
Yeah. But other than that, they're spectacular.
Well, no, cool. Well, so we've got a cool video that at this point will have come out last week. So
go to the YouTube channel and watch that.
Go back at one video. Should be one, maybe two.
We put a lot of time and effort into it.
Yeah, I will say that we started out with a plan and it did not go as we thought. Matt had some really good insights. We really, I hate to use the word pivoted, but pivoted to, all right, here's this kind of like a overlandy, I don't know, people think of it as like a given. And it may not be necessarily as true or as like cut and dry as you think. It applies in some situations, but not in others. But this is one of those things that, if you look up top 10 tips for beginner overlanders, this is probably one of them, and enlist and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'll say it's when we say that it didn't go as planned, it was fine as far as proving what we needed to our eyes, but it did not show up on camera. Like the translation of what we were. Our original plan to the camera and to the YouTube viewer was not there. That's for sure.
And then we actually cut out a part. Again, go back and watch it. But we tried something with more or less like an ink test. We should do that with your truck sometime.
Yeah. And see what the difference is.
Yeah, because mine was we're talking like half an inch. Like it was the difference. But again, on camera, you would need a ruler up there. Yeah. But with yours going down, I would be curious to see like what it would actually look like.
Matt also mentioned we really should have measured front to back.
That probably front to back and side to side. Right. Yeah.
The biggest mistake I think people make is they think things like that are what makes the difference in where you get places.
Yeah.
And I think your ability to manage the pedal or both pedals, honestly.
Yeah.
And drive become more important than a lot of the other stuff that people factor into things. And I think that's just a huge part of it.
I think a lot
and
of that
dumb
just
things
like
people don't even think about if you don't have let's say you don't have a locker and you're struggling on something, well, shoot, if you put half the emergency brake down, you'll probably grab the other tire. Yeah. I mean, there's a good chance you start to apply some emergency brake in a rear wheel drive vehicle. You'll pick up the other tire and you won't inhibit the front.
Yeah.
If you hit your brakes, you inhibit the front. Now, if you want the front to grab, that will help. But I mean, just understanding how the vehicle works like that.
Me miss the
best
e-brake
that was
history.
The best e-brake ever, right? Right. Toyota had the hand e-brake was the greatest thing ever because you could literally on the move grab that thing and give it a little bit of help if you were.
It also
struggling.
had a pretty good cable stretch indicator. Because there towards the end, mine would be like, oh, I've got to hit my knee. That's my upper thighs in the way.
I need to make some adjustments.
Yeah.
So. But I mean, understanding how that stuff works and understanding the vehicle and understanding how to use the tools that already exist, I think has a lot of value to it.
Like getting to know your stuff. And that goes for anything. I mean, from
don't have to talk about first aid kits, talking about anything, right? Like, have you deployed the first aid kit? Do you know what's in it? Have you used it? That kind of stuff. The first time you open it should not be the crisis.
When you need to stop the red stuff from coming out. I mean, I think that goes for a lot of things. Like, and like going back to that, like Rodney, always has more or less annual going through and getting your expiration dates, and stuff like that, because you don't want to find out that's expired and totally ruined when you just opened it,
right. No. And I think just updating it, like what have you used through the year? I mean, maybe I use my first aid kit more than I should. I don't know, but I know like the other day I was out of vet wrap, or I was not out, but
usually for us,
close enough to out that I was like,
individual medications, the kind of like small bandages, and then stuff that just expired.
Consumable. I have consumable like. If some kind of tape, Luca tape or something in there, I'll run out of that quicker than I thought I would, or I'll run out of vet wrap quicker than I think I should.
Yeah. I actually just went through my everyday carry, like first aid kit the other day. It's just a small one that's in my backpack that I bring in here. I've really been impressed with something I had seen just on a forum somewhere for the Luca tape. Like it was like the guy's like, if you don't want to carry a whole roll, this dude is like hardcore Bob Marshall wilderness, long hikes. He takes and cuts pre-sized strips and puts them on wax paper.
Okay.
And I've been shocked at how well those like stand up to like the heat and the cold. Like you just literally right off the roll, stick it on a piece of wax paper. Yeah, I fold them up like accordion style in that little first aid kit, and I've done kind of just like full width, half width strips, things like that. Because I've even used that for like band-aids. If I'm
no, I mean I use vet wrap and Luca tape for band-aids.
Yeah,
more
especially
than I ever
like out
would a
fishing
Band-Aid.
or something where a band-aid is not
never going to stay on.
Yeah. Wrap it up with Luca tape and you're good to go.
Yeah. Or
it's also the best for blister control. Like it's way better than
moleskin
or
all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. But this is a good time of year to be thinking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like going through and updating your kit and going through and updating your stuff and thinking about that.
Yeah.
I think this is it's important to be doing that sort of thing. So what other fun things do we have? You have any big plans this week? You doing anything fun?
No, not this week. Logan and I are going to go run a trail next week for some B-roll and work on a video. We've got another...
Not literally run.
No.
Because
in a
running
truck.
with Logan would not be fair.
No.
Yeah, that can mean two different things for me.
Yeah. I only run with Logan if there's a fire starting component, because then I've got a chance.
More than a chance.
Yeah.
You have a leg up, some might say.
Yeah.
If there's a fire starting component.
Yeah. There's a chance of snow this weekend, so we should do another battle ruck challenge. So
boy.
yeah.
Battle ruck challenge.
That's what we did in
call
Georgia.
it,
Yeah. So, but we're gonna go run a trail. One I haven't been on in years. Did it with Jason Speck way before I moved up here on a trip, and want to go back. It's a cool trail, pretty close to here. It was closed for a little while, and just thought it'd be a cool place to go do a video. We'll see how it goes.
Where is this at?
Just
generally.
Yeah, opposite of what is that exit? It's where the Mountain Inn Cafe, Foot of the Mountain Cafe, or whatever it is. What is the name of that exit now? Arcadia.
Okay.
Across 81. Like you start on it across from 81 there.
Across from the cafe.
Yeah. Like
and you go up that way.
Yeah.
You go up towards Potts Mountain.
Yeah. It runs into we've talked about it before. It's not like I'm trying to hide this one. It's the creek we did the trip right after New Year's trip 2 or 3 years ago, and there's that one road that has like 3 or 4 creek crossings on it, but there's also like 8 campsites down it up above, like, is it Troutdale?
Daleville? Troutville.
Yeah, okay. This trail's up of Troutville. This comes into it east of Troutville. Yeah. So
east of Troutville. Okay. Yeah, so it heads towards Catawba and that.
Yeah.
Or Newcastle.
Newcastle. That's it. Yeah.
Heads towards Newcastle. Matter of fact, it actually, I think if you go far enough, it brings you out on the road that Potts Mountain Jeep Trail is on.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you continue, you can get to it from there.
Yeah, because December before last now, a buddy came up with his Raptor, and we went up in there and we hit Fenwick Mines and all that, and like we went by it, and it was still closed then, but since then it's reopened. So
okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna see what it looks like. It's kind of interesting. Some stuff we'll talk about in that video, and like in terms of like access. But it was really cool when I ran it with Jason and the MSO crew several years ago. So I'm kind of curious to see what it looks like now that they've opened it up. From what I get, there was some like crazy erosion went down, which when you see it, it'll make sense, because there's times where like it is the creek bed. So yeah, I think there was just some rains that won out, and they had to close it for a while because part of it's state maintained. So
I know was it last year? We had one that it washed.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost culverts and
yeah. So I think that's like, what had happened was like
that one. We just, it was bad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily that. I don't know what happened. I mean, we didn't necessarily get. I mean, we had a lot of rain, but like, I think they had a lot of rain just barely north of us.
Yeah.
In the mountains where it came down, and it was ugly. I had to go like hunt down culverts and put them back, and
that's when like we had some washout in our driveway, but right as you come into Bedford, like right before the sign, there's that big pasture.
Yeah.
And like it was a lake, and normally that's just like a little creek that runs through it, and was like, oh wow, there has been a lot of water made its way down to here to turn it into that.
Yeah. No, that's. Yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting.
Yeah, so we're going to take a day next week, just kind of see what the weather does, and head out early, run that, and kind of, it's easy for us to get B-roll for products and some, in use photos, but then also we think it'd be a fun video. And if this does well, maybe we'll start doing kind of like a local trail feature. So, yeah.
Well, that'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
Local trail feature.
Yeah. Little trail feature.
Yeah. Hey, you guys are always asking for video ideas, and I'm just serving them up to you on a Zarge case.
Right. Serving them up to you on a Zarge case.
Yeah, the plus I like being in the woods this time of year. Like if it's not, like you're in the truck, you got heat,
Yeah. No, I mean
all the greens down so you can see.
Yeah.
So
a lot of interesting wildlife out this time of year too.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
pick up a lot of stuff. A lot of birds hunting. We get a ton of hawks now.
Yeah. I saw a big one yesterday coming into the shop, just like literally up the road, like hanging out on a power line. Big red tail.
Last year I followed a hawk carrying a squirrel down my driveway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and he flew the driveway.
Yeah.
About 12 feet above the driveway as I followed him. I was like, holy crap. I'm not sure. This would make really good video if I knew how to make that happen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make that happen. So, but yeah, had I had a GoPro deployed or something, because he was right in front of me and working his way down the driveway for, a few minutes.
No, but
Little squirrel.
Yeah. His last POV in life was exciting, but
right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Poor little guy.
Yeah.
Actually, we need to reduce the gray squirrel population.
Hey, the hawk's doing his part.
Right. I know. I'm not complaining about him. I was out yesterday for a few minutes in the afternoon. Actually a couple hours, but looking at some pasture stuff, some things we're doing at the farm. And I mean, there must have been 6 gray squirrels just
right. Yeah.
along the edge of the creek bed, which means, the couple nice heavy fox squirrels we had are
gone. Yeah.
And
I don't think Logan was, you were here. We were talking about that the other day of that's one of those things I was talking about how we have red foxes now. Well, last year we had a gray fox that was like a clock. He came through almost every day. Well, we were kind of speculating, is that the opposite of squirrels? Because fox squirrels will actually be run off by gray squirrels.
Yeah.
Even though they're
pushed back deeper into the woods.
Yeah, 2/3 of the size. They just outcompete them, outbreed them, bigger litters and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a shame because the big red squirrels are pretty cool.
Yeah. Especially when you get a really mature fox squirrel.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's kind of an impressive animal.
Yeah.
Whereas gray squirrels are all just they're bushy-tailed, short-faced rats.
Yeah. They're almost always a little disappointing.
Yeah. We're a fox squirrel's wow.
Damn, that is something.
Yeah, impressive coloration. It's a good size animal.
Yeah.
We had one at our house in Tennessee that was only around. We had 2 huge maple trees in the yard when they were blooming, because actually fox squirrels love to eat maple blooms. And like clockwork, here he would come, and he had the big grizzled tail, so he's red, but his tail's almost all white with just black tips.
Yeah.
And he'd hang out in the maples for a week, and then once the blooms were
done,
turned into leaves, he would just disappear back into the woods again. Yeah.
Like I said, it's interesting, some of the stuff that's out right now that you can see that you probably is out obviously in the spring too. You just don't pick it up because of all the grass.
Yeah.
All the heavy grass and stuff is killing all your view.
Yeah, actually on a platform I'm on the other day, a guy was asking about suggestions for Orlando this time of year. He was going down for work, and I told him actually this time of year in Orlando, there's some pretty cool nature trail, city greenways.
Yeah.
And there's one in particular, because we've got family down there, that is got a creek that runs through it. And I was down there one January and hiked that thing, and it was like being on an Amazon bird safari, because all the birds, in January are migrating or whatever.
Yeah.
All kinds of egrets and ibis and, stuff that we never see around here.
Yeah.
And I mean, you literally park beside an elementary school to get on this trail. But once you're 100 yards in, it's a canopy, and it's a sand trail, and then this creek, and that stuff's all in there. And so same thing, kind of cool to see that stuff in the winter that you would never get to see. So if you're going down for the Save Expo, may look out for some of that stuff.
There was an eagle on the road, in a tree on the side of the road 2 days ago.
Oh, cool.
On my way home.
I'm seeing, this is about the time of year I started seeing a lot of giant woodpeckers on my usual hike. The
pileated. Yeah, we've got a couple of those around the house in the woods, and it's funny, you don't see them a lot, but they have a really distinct call. Yeah. And almost every morning when you go out, with the dogs or just getting in the truck to come to work, you hear them. Yeah,
knocking away.
Yeah. Or that it's that laugh. I can't even possibly recreate it, but
It's Woody the woodpecker.
Yeah. Really. Yeah.
That's him.
It always blows my mind that the ivory bill, which is extinct, was a third again the size of those.
Yeah, because those are big birds.
Yeah.
Every time I see one, I'm like, oh yeah, That is a big thing.
Yeah. Like I said, they're in our woods, and I have stumbled on a couple of trees. I've got a picture somewhere of where one like went to
Just
town
demolished
on a
it.
pine,
Yeah.
and literally like I can stick my hand flat into the hole and not touch the sides or the top. Like he made a rectangular hole that big. You know?
No, they'll do some work on stuff for sure, especially stuff that's in bad shape.
Yeah, I don't know what he was after, but he
was committed to
he was going to
it.
cut that tree in half if he had to. Yeah. So.
I mean, what we need for like bike helmet is woodpecker head stuffing.
Yeah.
I mean, like woodpecker head stuffing would make the best helmets. I don't know how we figured that shit out, but that's got to be good shit.
It's a wild, like the concept that there's an animal that just bangs its face into a tree is nuts.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about what woodpecker head stuffing is made out of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be good stuff.
Because they've got like, isn't essentially like their brain got like a plate around it or something that like
it's on like a suspension system.
Yeah. The plate moves so that the brain doesn't like bounce around, right? Because like, you know, if you get banged around, the reason
woodpecker head stuffing, that's all I'm sure of. I don't know anything else about it, but
that sounds like a really good name for a food product. I don't even know
woodpecker head stuffing.
Yeah. But like, you know, we get shaken around, like, you know, you're in a vehicle accident.
Or a folk song.
The reason that you're disoriented is because your brain's literally bouncing around on the inside. Well, they have something that like their brain stays still and that part moves.
Yeah. The head moves around the brain.
Yeah. So
it's like a chicken head.
It's like a chicken head gimbal.
Yeah.
It's chicken head gimbal.
Man,
have you seen that? There's a video that was going around where someone attached a GoPro to a chicken's head
and then just carried it around.
Carried the chicken around. Nice.
Yes, chicken head gimbal.
That's almost as good as the 3D printed like muscle arms they put on chickens. So as they walk around. So.
I think we've digressed and
So
and I actually have to roll.
Yeah, so. Matt is gotta go get his training for counting cards and all that stuff. Polished up before
or
he
go to
heads
the dentist before I go. So whichever.
So a little bit of a shorter episode today, but we'll be back in a couple weeks in the episode. But be sure to be on the lookout for the kind of trail spotlight video, and go back and watch the we'll call it overlanding advice, fact or fiction.
Fact or fiction. That's actually a good title.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, always thanks for watching. Subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.